Sorry about that. I don't know what that was all about, but we got a little interrupted here. So, let's get a new feed happening here. Well, that was just lame as hell, was it not? Good Lord. So, how much did you guys actually see? Because I have no idea at what point that actually cut. Yeah, Mother Buffer. Hashtag Mother Buffer. And I have no idea. So, we are going to start this song again. And we're buffering again. What is this nonsense? Oh, for the love of God. Hang on. Let's see here. Bear with me. Bear with me. All right. Let's try this. Yeah, YouTube is something. Drunk, high, I don't know what. Good God. So, for those who... I don't know if anyone here currently was not there when I started, but... Uh-oh. Johnnie Metz is in the house. So, going back to... this song that I was doing. This, I'll re-explain a little bit just because some people may not have been there and I don't know if this got cut off or not. I know you guys, Charming Draft, you guys are awesome. I knew you weren't going anywhere. I knew you would find me again. So this song, I was on a trip, business trip, group of people, chick in the backseat, was into her, didn't know her, staring at her through the rearview mirror, and hence the song Rearview Mirror. So... YouTube MK Ultra, L Spicy, you are awesome. I get the reference. And you just, as awesome as you already were, you're like 20 million times more awesome in my book now. So again, from the top, this is Rearview Mirror. Here we go. Staring hard to feel lesser to the life you see. Rearview mirror. Blinded, slither like a child, just to get a taste of the wild. Apathetic fears shine clearer and life's a bitch through the rearview mirror. From the one you desire, made a slave to the rearview mirror. That slips away through the rearview mirror. Opportunity fades. Rearview mirror, she'll twist your mind. Rearview mirror through shallow eyes. Rearview mirror, she'll make you wild. Rearview mirror. we going to get into a CIA discussion? I think we should just leave it where this discussion where it's at, personally. Hey, Mary, good to see ya. I hope that's a good damn and not a bad damn. So, yeah, and again, while I'm up here, as you guys all know, I'm open for. Oh, good damn! Yay! Well, thank you. I am open for any of your questions, commentary. You want to know something about me, my music, my process, my life. You know, I don't know, that rash I had when I was 12 years old, whatever. Oh, thanks, Rebecca. You know, very little is off limits, I suppose. You know, within the bounds of reason and such. Yeah. So this next one I'm going to do is awesome. I know, right? Who doesn't love a good rash every once in a while? Said nobody ever. So, what was my first backyard gig? Wow, what a great question. The first one I remember was... This was high school graduation, so brace yourselves. I'm going to date myself a little bit here. This was the year 2000. And a friend of mine, the guy that was playing bass in my band at the time, the school band, who's the most talented person you ever collaborated with? Clearly John Metzinger would be the most talented. There's only one answer to that question when John's in the room. So, but yeah, so the first backyard party was a graduation party. This guy, it was actually I don't remember if it was the last time or the time before I played the song Baby All I Want Is You, which was originally recorded under a different name with this first band I was in, the Doc Marmalade Band. And this guy's house was awesome. It had the living room, and the living room went into this back room, but half the back room was raised like 4 or 5 feet off the ground with a little staircase, and it was literally like a back room stage area that then went out into the backyard. So we did, for his graduation party, us and a bunch of other people just jammed on this stage, and it was, you know, he and I and the band we had actually did a set, and it was a lot of fun. It was actually, I haven't thought about that in a long time. I'm really glad you asked me about that, because that's actually a really great memory that I had. And this guy was funny. His online handle at the time was Donut Hippie, and he literally, like, donuts were what was served at his graduation party. It was an interesting scenario, an interesting scene for sure. Fun fact, those were also back in my much heavier days when I weighed like 250, 280 or something like that. Many, many, many moons ago. Turning 40? Not just yet. Oh, yeah, no, anyway. I'm less than 40 and hopefully older than I look. My favorite tattoo of my own? That's really hard to say. Lord, my favorite tattoo... Donuts are awesome, by the way. Too awesome. Even worse, bacon maple cronut. Those are like crack. They're dangerous. I'm not the oldest. Well, that's good to know. Thank you. But anyway, my favorite tattoo, I would have to say, that I currently have would probably be this one here up on my arm. This is a painting I saw. Actually, a good friend of mine who's also a killer musician. His name is Carlos Nieto, and the third. And he's got a band called Harmful If Swallowed, which, if you can check them out, Harmful If Swallowed is actually an awesome, awesome punk band. I did a show with them before, and they're fantastic live. Their albums are awesome. I highly recommend their music. But he's also an artist, and he was doing an art show in Hollywood. This is when I first moved out here, and I saw this guy doing this art show, and I saw this painting of these two women with this Day of the Dead artwork. And this is two women. One's holding a bowl of water that's spilling over. The other one's kind of like back turned, but kind of whispering in the other one's urine. I don't know, something about it just kind of got me. I don't know, it just grabbed me, and I really loved the painting. So then, you know, a few years later, he also played some of my wife of Marcy's art shows, so we kept in touch that way. And I asked him one day, I was like, would you mind if I got this tattooed? And he was like, dude, I'd be honored. So then he sent me a high-res image, got it tattooed, and then that's the story of that. Yeah. As far as my age, I am 36. There you go, I said it. Ask not for me to repeat. Anyway, age is just a number, whatever. I feel like 25, so I'm fine. You should get a tat. Oh my god, tattoos. Yes, you should get a tattoo. Absolutely. And by the way, to answer John Metzinger's question from earlier, in all seriousness, I really couldn't say who the most talented person is I've worked with, that I've collabed with, only because really, like, every person I've collaborated with has been so different on some level, you know, like, um, yeah, I don't think I've ever had a collaboration that went badly that I can think of, and it was, yeah, I really couldn't answer that question. I mean, like John is one of the most brilliant songwriters I've ever met, and I love collaborating with him. And I don't think we've ever had like a bad collaboration. You know, there have been other people. I'm going to be playing a song later by that I wrote with my friend Dee Dee O'Malley, who's also a fantastic songwriter and musician, and totally night and day different from John, but fantastic on her own level, right? Yeah, so it's just really hard for me to answer that question, other than to say that they've all been the best, really. And every collab has been fantastic for some reason. Yeah. The Youngin, you know, that warms my heart to hear you say that. Thank you. You want a tat, and you should have a tat, and yes, I just read a comment again because clearly I've had some kind of lapse of memory just then. Right. You feel about 80 right now, we'll get a tattoo. That'll take at least 40 years off of that. See, tattoos are fun. But yeah, and Tina, very cool on the tattoos, and I'm definitely not done. My next one, I want to get a purple Prince symbol on my forearm here, and then have a white dove on it, and the words "Nothing Compares" wrapped around it. That's my next one that I want to do. That I'm stoked about, and I wanted to do it pretty much since he died. You don't need fat to get a tat, and that rhymes. By the way, yeah. I don't know where I was going with that, but anyway. Rebecca, I bet you could totally get a tat. And Spicy, get on with your bad self with the full sleeve. I am so on board. You are a badass 63, Mary. No one will argue with that. And again, you know, for me, like, you know, so my body's 36 years old, but how old do I feel? I would peg it at around 25, maybe even like 21 or 23, you know? So whatever. Age is fairly irrelevant in my universe. So let's see. Any other questions? You are a poet and you didn't even know what life. Tina, you're awesome. I just love you to death. I mean, I love all you guys to death. But oh, and I didn't see Matthew come in. Matt, how you doing, brother? Good to see you. And saw Rebecca's note from before. I'm super flattered that you guys were listening to me on Spotify earlier, which again, along with my music being on Amazon and such, I am definitely on Spotify and Pandora. So, you know. Yeah. You want a flaming basketball tat? I think that's a cool idea. You should get one. Alright, so I'm going to do another song here. And this song, let's see here. Yeah, this song is a song I wrote. I've recorded this song a few different times in a few different bands and solo. I don't know why I keep recording it. I mean, it's a good song and I like the song, but I don't know why I keep doing it. The versions are never that different, right? There is a version of it on Cockeyed Optimism. It's called Without You. I don't even think I was thinking of anyone in particular when I wrote it. I was just kind of thinking with the idea of just, a loss of somebody, a relationship, right? That's pretty much it. There's actually not much of a backstory to this. I just kind of wrote it thinking of, what's that like. So anyway, here we go. This is Without You. Last day to live, last day to breathe, last day to day, last day to feel, last day to love. You've gone away. And I'm such a fool to ever think I could keep you. I don't know why, girl, you made me feel so high. You left me for. Yes, Jared, I wrote it. And thank you, Rebecca. I'm glad you like the solo. Um, and my wife is actually in the house. She's welcome to come out here and hang out for a minute if she wants to, but that's totally up to her. And all I can think of when I hear boat is, I'm on a boat! I'm on a boat! So yeah, that's now stuck in my head. Thank you, El Spicy. But it's cool. Alright, alright. A little water for my throat. Muchas gracias, senor. Oh, just a reminder everyone to hit the like button on this video, please. And definitely be sure to share it up as well if you wouldn't mind. Thank you, Matt. Glad you liked. And yeah, I did see my wife's video earlier, the live video she did with Paris. And Paris is number one, just an awesome guy. But yeah, that was a lot of fun. I thought that was super cool that they did that. And, yeah, I liked it too. So this next song here I'm going to do, and pardon me one moment, I have to grab one thing that I forgot to grab. 2 seconds, I'll be right back. Okay, that was more than 2 seconds, sorry about that. Alright. So this next song here, I co-wrote with Dee Dee O'Malley. Now, here's the story behind this song. This is kind of an interesting one. She and I started working on writing a musical a while ago, which sadly we have never finished that musical. But it was a lot of fun, even just getting into writing that. They have to oh, I know, they do need to collab again. I agree. I would actually love to do a collab with Paris as well. By the way, Paris, if you're listening, I am definitely up for doing some live collab stuff, which I think we've talked about before. But yeah. You want to see a close-up of my guitar. I think I can oblige you. Bear with me one moment here, and then I will make that happen. Maybe I'll do it mixed media girl style and do like the actual like artist close-up, since this is a piece of her artwork technically. But anyway, back to the song. This next song that I'm doing is a song that me and Dee Dee were writing. We were putting together this musical. The idea of the musical was about a guy who was a musician and was kind of doing the Joe Job 9 to 5 thing, but by day, but then by night he just wanted to be a musician. Familiar story to me. But then he actually gets a taste of the limelight and gets a record deal and gets producers on his happening, but then he goes off the rails and gets into the drug and the women. He like starts out with like a wife, and then he cheats on his wife and blah blah blah. And at the end of the musical, he kind of finds out it's not all he thought it was going to be, and ends up coming back and just kind of the wife and end up like he's like, oh shit, I messed up. And anyway, the basic gist of the musical, right? And we end up writing like 4 or 5 songs for this musical, and this was one of them. This is my favorite one. And this is the song where, on a gradual thing, he doesn't go from like nothing to like now I'm just out of here, but it starts off piece by piece, changing his hair, changing his name. You got to be out all nights of all hours of the night partying, that kind of stuff, and then eventually he just goes off the deep end. So this would be earlier in the musical, and the song is called "With You," and just starting off as if you kind of can think of like in a musical, there's like a a split screen kind of effect where one side of the stage is the wife singing, and then the other side of the stage is this guy singing, and then they come together vocally, but at different ends of the stage singing the song, and then they finish the song off together. It's that kind of a thing, right? So yeah. So what's that? We need to collab. Wife life. I would be up for that. Let's collab it up. But yeah, so that's the song. Now before I start though, I was requested to do a close-up of my guitar. So here we go. This is what she looks like up close and in person. I'm moving the guitar instead of the phone because that just is easier for this situation. But that's what she looks like. I'll show you the back, which is also graffitied pretty nicely. It's like watching a fish swim in the water, right? And I'm getting a nice screen reflection on here. That's great. But yeah, so that's what the guitar looks like up close. Yeah. So that's that. And yeah, my wife did a phenomenal job on this guitar. I just words can't even describe how amazing it is, or how amazing she is. And yeah, like I said, the wife is welcome. Oh, hello from New York. Hello, Bridget. How are you? So again, the song is called "With You," and here we go. The world's a great big place. The sky just goes on. With all our fears to face, and every way to be wrong. Whatever tomorrow brings, whatever we get into, I wanna spend it with you. Every melody was yours before I saw your face. Every note and every chord led me to your sweet embrace. Whatever tomorrow brings, the messes we get into, spend it with you. And if the road should rise too high and it's hard to walk, let alone fly, I'll push your dreams up through the clouds and love you past the day we die. Tomorrow brings, whatever we get into, no matter the bitter things, the messes we get into, I wanna spend it with you. Thank you. Dilly dilly Bridget, I don't know what that means, but alright. Ooh, a drink. We got drinks happening. I didn't get one. Where's mine? So yeah, that's actually what I'm looking to, I'm planning to record on the next album I do, which I'm hoping to have out probably late this year, early next year. And yeah, I don't know, when we came up with that, it was just like instantly, it was grabbing me, so I was like, God, this song needs to somehow become known, you know? So there's that. Yeah. Oh, thanks, Mary. And Marcy is a lot of people's heroes, I'm kind of gathering. That's definitely, I can see why that would be. Cool. So, I think I'm going to play something. I've actually never played this song, I don't think, anywhere before. I don't think my wife has heard this. I wrote it a while ago, years ago. And this is from the perspective of somebody who is in a relationship, they don't want to be in the relationship, and then they see someone that they really dig, and they kind of want to jump ship, but then they don't. But they wrote this song instead. Kind of, like, that's if you can kind of get the mindset, if anyone's ever been in that situation, like written from the perspective of somebody that's got that going on. This was, God, I don't know how many years ago I wrote this song, but yeah, and you know, weird position to be in. So this is kind of like it's like a love triangle conversation, but only one person is having it. It's kind of weird. And thank you, Wife Life. I'm glad you liked it. You will have a recorded version of it soon, but, well, soonish, to check out. Big sippy cup. I want a sippy cup of something. So yeah, this song, and bear with me, I haven't really actually played it in quite some time. So it's always a possibility I will screw some part of it up. I'm also kind of, you know, guinea pigging it up with you guys. Let me know what you think of it, because this is another one that I'm looking to put on the next album, and I would love to just know what you guys think of it, actually. Yeah, and also I know I've talked about this before. But, you know, if at any point during this feed anyone gets any songwriting ideas, throw them at me, because I've been known to just start writing songs on my live feed. I actually did one like that before, and it was actually pretty cool. So, yeah, but anyway, this song is called Who's a Cheap Date? But yeah, so this song is called Into Your Hearts. So here we go. And I'm totally using lyrics on my computer screen and have music written in front of me. So again, if I screw this up, don't hate me too much for it. So here we go. Into the dark, straight through the night. So many times I've run, so many ways we fly. Into your mind, so many things to say, so many words to find. And I've never felt so distant from one who's been so near. I've never been so sure the thing I want is right here. If I could only find a way turn this darkness into night. Though this all just seems so crazy, I don't give a damn tonight. Just wanna clear my mind so I can find a way. Gonna drive straight through the dark to find today. Into your arms, into the fold, so many things to steal again, so many ways to lose our hold. In Thank you. So that's that one. Yeah, where are Allie and Judy? What the heck? We're going to have to send out a search party soon. Allie probably stuck in resin. That's possible. It's definitely possible. So, yeah. And again, you know, definitely let me know your thoughts on that song. I'm interested to know if that's a good one or not. Do I play any other instruments? I do play bass, and I do a lot of hand percussion stuff, hand drums and gyros and shakers, that kind of thing. Very, very minimal drum. I definitely wouldn't call myself a drummer. You know, and then a little bit of keyboard. That's pretty much what I do. And then, you know, every once in a while I'll just pick something up and kind of figure it out. But for the most part, that covers it. Let's do a little retune here. Let's see here. So, we are coming up to that special time, so I hope that Judy and Allie show up soon, because gosh, it's almost FIAF time, and it would be tragic if they missed that. But I feel like they're going to make a last-minute entrance. I just have a feeling. So this is a song, this actually was the first ever collaboration I did with John Metzinger, I believe. This is a song that we wrote. Oh, thank you, Wife Life. Tina, you're the bomb. You're like, I love you. You're awesome. This song, ooh, and Mary, I love me some bass too. I'm actually excited because I got the company I work for, Minaret Guitars, or that I work with rather. They just released some killer basses. I'm really excited to play around with them and mess with them because I've heard some video of people playing them and the sound on them is killer. And I definitely like me a good bass line myself. You can play cards, well, Tina, that's something, and you can play cards while listening to music, which is always needed. Yeah, I wouldn't say I'm not though. Like I'm not like a much of a funk bassist. It's mostly straightforward rock playing, but yeah, I definitely dig the bass. But yeah. Oh, did Tina get her presents already? Yay! Oh, that's bomb. Good deal. So, but yeah, this song is called "I Want to Swim." You know, and I don't think I was going through anything rough at the time that I wrote it, but it was kind of like, you know, the whole idea of the song is, you know, there's the lyric, "I'm still holding on to a dream within a dream. I'm still holding on to the life inside me." It's like, you know, on the one hand, it's like life can get rough sometimes. And it's the concept of just holding on by a thread, but then there's also the idea that you know that it's worth it to hold on, so you keep holding on, and that's kind of more. You know what the thing is you know it's always it's a brave choice to decide to hold on, I guess is what I'm saying. So yeah, I guess that's ultimately what this song really gets down to, is that it is, especially like there's a bridge where it goes, the lyric is, how do I know for sure when blind faith is my future's calling card, right? It's like sometimes you have no clue, there's no way to know what's coming down the pipe, but even that, it's like you can decide to just, your cousin was in Sex Pistols, like the Sex Pistols, because wow, that's just dope. But anyway, yeah, so it's like, even though you might not know what's coming in the future, it's really, it's a strong decision, and in my opinion, the right decision is just keep going and keep pushing and hanging on, this is in a broad sense, in a life sense, Do I like Joe Bonamassa? I gotta be honest with you, I've never heard much of his stuff. I never was like, I just somehow never got hooked into his stuff. I know he's supposed to be a great guitar player, but I definitely know of him, but I've never really listened to his stuff, sadly. But perhaps soon, since you brought him up. Holding on to a dream within a dream. Yes, that is definitely, to me, when I wrote, actually I think that was the first lyric to the song that I wrote. Like I came up with that and I just had to kind of keep going. With that, and that's kind of where the song went. And then John Metzinger actually put the chorus on it. So without further ado, can I do some Disturbed or Slipknot? I don't know any Disturbed or Slipknot, and also too, I would have to check YouTube because I'm usually not allowed. I have to check which covers I'm allowed to do. And Mary, by the way, Stanley Clark, I have seen in concert myself, and he is phenomenal. I think I actually met him once a while ago, but amazing guy, and oh, so talented. That guy's a beast. He's him. I mean, him and Billy Sheehan are like probably two of my favorites, bass player wise, and then Les Claypool from Primus is like also just a beast of a bass player. If you've never heard Primus, go check some Primus out. Or just Les Claypool. That guy is a monster. And Tina, that you are a cousin to somebody in the Sex Pistols, that's amazing. Who? Which one? Because now I just gotta know. And Rebecca, that is awesome that you love to sing, and I'm glad that you do. Aw. Yeah, his talent just blows my mind. Cool. So, without further ado, I'm going to get into the song. Again, this is called I Want to Swim. So here we go. I'm still holding on to a dream within a dream. I'm still holding on to the life inside of me. I'm still praying hard, though I don't know what I need. I'm still praying hard, yeah. Don't know future's guaranteed. I don't wanna die, I just wanna swim. Oh yeah, I don't wanna die, I just wanna swim. I'm still holding on, although my grip keeps slipping every day. I'm still holding on, just to survive in any way. I'm still holding on to a dream within a dream. I'm still holding on. Here I am, please don't give up on me. I don't wanna die, I just wanna swim. So that's that song, and that actually John and I wrote that. I think it was like a rehearsal or two before that band at that time ended. Sadly, it was a great band, the Phoenix Resistance. But that was the first full-on collab. I think one of the first full-on collabs I think I ever did. Period. Back in the day, I was never actually about collaborating. It's funny because I had this really interesting viewpoint of that it was better if you could write your own songs and not collab. Like, it made you a better musician or a better person, I don't know, but I used to have this really interesting viewpoint, and I had a lot of interesting viewpoints. I also had the viewpoint that it was like one guy, one band, kind of a musician monogamy viewpoint, where it's like if you were in my band, you couldn't be in someone else's band, and I only wanted to be in one band. And not to say it's not a valid viewpoint, but as I've grown and as a musician, as an artist, and just as a person, it's there's a little underlying current to that, which is that you can't handle being in more than one band, which I mean, to each his own, but for me, I that's not my thing. I actually kind of thrive on being in multiple projects at once. And, unless you're, I mean, it depends on your purpose too. If your purpose is just to have fun with your friends and your friends are all doing this band, cool. But like, especially if you want to make an income as an artist, unless you're Guns N' Roses, you're probably not going to make enough money off of one band, at least not at first. So it kind of makes sense to diversify yourself. And in some genres, it's normal. Like we were talking about Stanley Clarke earlier in the jazz world. It's weird for somebody to just be in one group. I mean, and even from album to album, like I think it was, Miles Davis, Charlie Parker, Coltrane, all those guys, like they had a different crew every time they recorded something. Like they never had the same guys happening, but these guys all knew the same music, and they just and they also could pick up so fast. So anyway, that was a bit of a tangent, but going back to this I Want to Swim was kind of the song that kind of broke the mold on that with me, and really got me really interested into writing with people. And since then, it's only become more and more. And now I love collaborating with people. And there's always, I don't think I've ever had like I said, a bad collaboration experience. So there you go. What concerts have I been to? By the way, Tina, what is CCM? This may be an obvious thing, but I just have no idea what that means. But yeah, my million concerts. Well, yeah. The other concerts I've been to, my first show ever was actually Primus. It was Primus and the Meat Puppets in '94. This was on the Tales from the Punch Bowl album. If you guys know the song Wynona's Big Brown Beaver, it was that album. And it was off the hook. Then let's see, I've seen Guns N' Roses a couple times. Once with the lineup Axl had when he was in Vegas back in like 2014 with, not the band he has now. And then my wife and I did see them with the old lineup, right? And then let's see, I went to Lollapalooza in '96, which I saw Metallica there, Soundgarden farewell tour, the Ramones on their farewell tour, Rancid, Screaming Trees, Stabbing Westward, a lot of really great bands actually. Lollapalooza '96 was a trip, and then let's see, what else have I seen? I saw Pantera in '96, which was for metal shows, hands down the best metal show I've ever seen. Saw Fall Out Boy, as my wife said. Saw them with my wife. Also saw Panic at the Disco and Weezer, which was a phenomenal show. I mean, honestly, it blew my mind how good both those bands were live. And then I saw Our Lady Peace for the first time, actually, back this past November. They had the 20th anniversary of the Clumsy album, which is the song with Superman's Dead and 4 a.m. and Clumsy. It was their breakthrough album, right? And that was actually the best show I'd ever seen. It was at a small venue. It was at the El Rey Theater in West LA. Which is a smaller venue. I think it holds maybe 1,000-ish, maybe 1,500, standing room only. Very intimate show, but those guys really, it was a dialogue with the crowd. I didn't feel like they had the aloof rock band thing happening. And they performed fantastically. Their music is amazing. And Rain Maida, the singer, just did such a killer job of really bringing the crowd into it and bringing the crowd into a space. And that to me is like a sign of somebody who is a true pro at what they do in the music world, is that, it's not them and us. It's the live dialogue with the artist. It's them getting a communication across, and then there being a return communication, and embracing that and not shying from it. And that song, or that show rather, was almost like a bit of it was a combination of like religious experience and just reminded me of why I love doing what I do and why I became a musician, because I felt on an interesting level, I felt understood even, like that they understood that we were there and interested in them, and we wanted the two-way, dialogue happening, and that happened. And I don't know, there was just something about that show. If you ever can see Our Lady Peace, I highly, highly recommend it.